everyone, Brianne here from Hooked on Homemade Happiness. Welcome back to my channel. We are here in part 4 of the Mandala Blanket Crochet Along. I will have the written pattern for part 4 linked below that you can use to follow along with the video tutorial. If you have just joined the Mandala Blanket Crochet Along, I will also link the video for part 1 so you could start at the beginning with us with this blanket. So last week in part 3, we ended with this beautiful circle. Here in part 4, we're going to start turning our circle into a square and really start to give it that blanket shape. So we ended part 3 in round 26 with color A. We still have all of our colors attached. If you are carrying your yarn, they're still attached. We will have to break them off at some point during part 4 and rejoin them. But if you're carrying your yarn, we still have them joined, and we are here in round 27, and we are going to be changing to color C in our slip stitch in the next stitch over. So we're going to be starting round 27 in this chain 1 right next to the double crochet that we joined to, and we are going to be changing here to color C. So I'm going to slip stitch to this chain 1 and pull up my color C in that chain 1, and I'm going to start with a chain 2, and I will V-stitch in this chain 1. So I'm going to have that double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in that chain 1 space there. Now I'm going to chain 3, and I will slip stitch to the next chain 1 space, which is right here in my next V-stitch. I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to insert my hook, pull the loop through that space in the loop of my hook to have a slip stitch. Now I'm going to chain 5, and I will slip stitch to this picket here. So this little loop we made, I'm going to slip stitch to this space. Now I will chain 5 again, and then slip stitch to the next chain 1 space, which is in my next V-stitch. And then now chain 3 and V-stitch in the next chain 1. So here's my next chain 1 in the V-stitch. I'm going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet here. So now I'm going to skip 2 stitches. So I'm going to skip this double crochet, and I will skip this half double crochet, and I'm going to V-stitch in the single crochet here. So now we're to that sequence of half double crochet and single crochets. So I skipped the half double crochet and V-stitch in the next. Now I'm going to skip 2, so skip 2 single crochets and V-stitch in the next. Again, skip 2 single crochets and V-stitch in the next. So here I have that half double crochet next, which I'm going to skip, and then I'm going to start at the beginning of my repeat. So here is my pattern repeat, and we're going to start again with this V-stitch in the chain 1 space. So I'm going to be starting at the beginning now of my repeat. So I will skip the half double crochet and V-stitch in the chain 1. Now chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch in the next V-stitch. So in this chain 1, I'm going to slip stitch. Now chain 5, and we're to our picket here, that little loop we made. We're going to slip stitch to this picket here. Now we're going to do kind of the same thing that we did here on the other side. So chain 5 and slip stitch to the next chain 1 in the next V-stitch. Now chain 3 and V-stitch in the next chain 1 space. In the next V-stitch, place another V-stitch. Now we're going to do those V-stitches across our single crochets here. So we will skip this half double crochet, so skipping 2, skip the double crochet, skip the half double crochet, V-stitch here in the next. Again, skip 2, V-stitch in the next. Skip 2, V-stitch in the next. And that is our pattern repeat here in round 27. So this is a little bit of a quicker round because it just consists of a lot of chain stitches. So it should be a little faster than other rounds we've done. So repeat this all the way around here in round 27. So here is round 27. I went ahead and joined to my very first double crocheted with a slip stitch, and you should have 40 V-stitches here in round 27. So in round 28, we are going to be changing to color B, and I'm going to start in this chain 1 space here. So I'm going to grab my color B, I'm going to slip stitch to this chain space and join with color B. And I will start with a chain 1, and I will single crochet in this chain 1 space. So now we're going to make a little more of those chain spaces and then also fill in some of those chain spaces as we go around. And you will see in this round we're going to start creating more of a square shape. So here I started with my single crochet. I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to skip my double crochet. I'm going to slip stitch to this chain 3 space here. Now I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to be working in this chain 5 space. I'm going to start with 3 half double crochet in this chain 5 space. So yarn over and insert your hook into that space. Work a half double crochet. 2 more for a total of 3. 3 half double crochet. And now I'm going to do 3 double crochet. 3 double crochet. And then now a treble crochet. So yarn over twice and treble. We're still working in that same chain 5 space. So there is 1 chain 5 space. Now I will chain 2, and I will do the opposite of what I just did in this chain 5 space in the next. So I'm going to start with a treble in this next chain 5 space. So skip the slip stitch, treble in the next chain 5 space. Now 3 double crochet. 3 double crochet, 3 half double crochet, and then now chain 3 and slip stitch to this next chain 3 space here. So this right here is going to start to become our corner space. So now I'm going to do the opposite of what I did over here. So chain 3 again. So now I'm going to single crochet in this chain 1 space here. And then chain 1. And I'm going to do a 2 double crochet, a long 2 double crochet together. So I'm going to be working in the row below. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into this leg of the V-stitch, this double crochet, and yarn over and pull up a loop, I'm going to leave it unfinished. Now I'm going to do that again in this half double crochet. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space. So I'm going to be doing that across this section here. So chain 1, long 2 double crochet cluster. So I'm going to be working in this row below, these single crochets here. There's 1. I guess it's actually a long 2 double crochet 2 together since we're doing it in 2 separate stitches. So I misspoke. It's not a cluster. It would be a 2 together since we're combining 2 into 1. Yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space. Chain 1, and then that long double crochet 2 together. So in the row below, it's 1 unfinished double crochet, 2 unfinished double crochet, yarn over, pull through all 3. Chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space. We're going to do 1 more long double crochet 2 together across the half double crochet and this double crochet from that V stitch. So chain 1 and then 1 more of those long double crochet 2 together. And yarn over, pull through all 3 and chain 1 and then single crochet in the chain 1. So now we're kind of back to where we started here, but we're not going to be doing the same thing across this next section because we're going to be turning it into a square. So we're going to be creating 4 of these corners, and we actually have 8 of these chain 5 spaces. So every other one is going to be a corner, and then this one we're just going to try and create kind of a straight line to make it more of a square shape. So we're not at the end of our repeat. We're going to continue on. So we're back to where we started here, but we're going to be doing something different across this section. So now I'm going to chain 3. And then I'm going to slip stitch in this chain 3 space here. And then now I'm going to chain 3. And in this chain 5 space, I am going to work 5 half double crochet. And then 5. Now I'm going to half double crochet in the slip stitch here. And then again, 5 half double crochet in the next chain 5 space. So you should have 11 half double crochet across these 2 chain 5 spaces. Now chain 3 and slip stitch to this next chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet here in the chain 1 space. Okay. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to start doing those double crochet 2 togethers, the long ones, across this section. So I will chain 1, long double crochet 2 together. So in that double crochet from the row below, and then in the half double crochet, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1. I'm going to repeat this across this section. So long double crochet 2 together, chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, oops, long double crochet 2 together, chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, and then we have 1 more long double crochet 2 together. and chain 1. And then now you will start back at the beginning with that single crochet in this next chain 1 space, and repeat this all the way around with your corner space here in this first chain 5, these chain 5 spaces with the half double crochets and double crochets, and then working those double crochet 2 togethers, 11 of these half double crochets in the next chain 5 spaces, and then again another section of the long double crochet 2 togethers. So repeat this all the way around here in round 28. So here I have finished round 28. You should have 68 half double crochet, 40 single crochet, 32 of the double crochet 2 together, 24 double crochet, and 8 treble crochet. And so we kind of have these 4 corner spaces here all the way around. So slowly we're going to be turning this circle now into a square. So I did not join yet because I'm going to be changing back to color C for round 29. So here I have not joined yet, so I'm going to be joining to this single crochet here. And I'm going to pull through color C in my join. I'm going to start with a chain 1, and I will single crochet in the single crochet. Now I'm going to continue to do a few more of those slip stitch sections and expand on my corner spaces here. So I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to slip stitch to this first chain 3 here. Chain 3. And then slip stitch to the next chain 3. Chain 3. Now I'm going to skip 3 stitches and half double crochet in the next 3. So skip 1, 2, 3, half double crochet in the next, and then in the next 2 for a total of 3. I'm going to double crochet in the next, which should be that treble. Now I'm going to chain 1. And in this chain 2 space, I'm going to do 3 double crochet clusters with a chain 1 in between. So 3 of the 3 double crochet clusters. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, pull through all 4 and chain 1. I'm going to do that 2 more times. And there's 2, chain 1, and then 1 more in the same space. And there's 3 and chain 1. So there's my corner space in that chain 2 space. Now I'm going to double crochet in this treble, so you might need to scoot over your clusters a little bit to see the top of that stitch. So double crochet in that treble, and then half double crochet in the next 3. Now I will chain 3, slip stitch to this chain 3, chain 3, slip stitch to the chain 3, chain 3, single crochet in this single crochet. So now across these double crochet 2 togethers, I'm going to single crochet in these stitches. So I'm going to, with a chain 2 between. So I'm going to chain 2, single crochet in this double crochet 2 together. Chain 2, single crochet in the single crochet. Chain 2, single crochet in the next. Chain 2, single crochet in the single crochet. And we're skipping those chain 1s, chain 2, single crochet in the next, chain 2, single crochet in that single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So you should have 9 single crochets here in this section with a chain 2 in between. So now I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to slip stitch to the chain 3. Chain 3, slip stitch to the chain 3. So now I'm to my half double crochets. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to half double crochet in the 3rd loop across these stitches here. So yarn over, and we're going to go to the back of our stitch, and there's my 3rd loop in that first half double crochet. I'm going to half double crochet 3rd loop in these 11 half double crochets. And one more. So there I have my 11 double crochet, half double crochet in the 3rd loop. I will chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch here to that chain 3 space, chain 3, slip stitch to the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and then single crochet in this single crochet. And now we're going to do those single crochets across this section here with a chain 2 between. So chain 2, single crochet in the next, chain 2, single crochet in the next, skipping the chain 1 space. You should have a total of 9 single crochet after we work all of these. And then there's our next. There's the beginning of our next repeat. So this is our repeat here in round 29. Starting with a couple of those chain 3 spaces, make our corner space here, more chain 3s, and then we have those 9 single crochets with a chain 2 in between each. Half double crochet 3rd loop across those 11 half double crochets. Repeat those 9 single crochets again with the chain 2 in between, and then we're back at the beginning of our repeat where we're going to start again with that corner space. So repeat this all the way around here in round 29. So here I have completed round 29, where you should have 68 half double crochet, 72 single crochet, 8 double crochet, and 12 clusters. So we're still continuing to create this square shape as we move forward. So I went ahead and fastened off all 3 colors of my yarn, because now I'm going to join to a corner and we're going to start working from the corner. So here is my corner, and I'm going to join to this center cluster here, the one in the middle of those 3. I'm going to join color A, and I'm going to start with a chain 2, and I will do a 2 double crochet cluster in this stitch, 2 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and then another 2 double crochet cluster in this same stitch. So this is going to be my corner space here. Now I'm going to chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, and I will do a half double crochet cluster here in the next 3 double crochet clusters. So I'm going to yarn over and then insert my hook into the next cluster, pull up a loop, do that again, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through all 5, and then chain 1. I'm going to do one more in the double crochet. So I'm going to skip the chain 1, another half double crochet cluster, in the double crochet. Now I will chain 1, and I will half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2 half double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 2, and I will slip stitch to this chain 3 here, chain 2, slip stitch to this next chain space here. We're going to continue this kind of all the way across here. Chain 2, slip stitch to the chain 2, and we're going to continue with that chain 2 and slip stitch in the chain 2 space across until we're right before our very last chain space here before our half double crochets. We're going to do it across until we end here. So chain 2, slip stitch to the chain 2 space all the way across this section. Till right before we get to our half double crochets, until we get to that first, that was a chain 3 right here. So I'm going to chain 2 and slip stitch right there. So I still have this one chain 3 right here unworked. So you should have a total of 12 slip stitches when you go across that space. So now here in this next chain 3 space, I'm going to work 2 half double crochets in this space here. Now I'm going to be doing the same thing I did previously. I'm going to do 11 half double crochet third loop across this section. So starting with my first one here, I'm going to do half double crochet in the third loop in each of these half double crochet. So here are those 11 half double crochet third loop. So now I'm going to, I have this these chain 3 here. I'm going to do 2 half double crochet in this chain 3. So I'm going to skip that slip stitch and 2 half double crochet in that chain 3. And now I'm going to slip stitch to the next chain 3 here. Now I'm going to repeat what I did on this side. I will chain 2 and slip stitch to this chain 2 space. Chain 2, slip stitch to the chain 2 space. Again, until you should have 12 slip stitches. Continue chain 2, slip stitch to the chain 2 space. All the way across this side. So I have one more. There's 11 slip stitches, and here are 12 slip stitches. Now I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to skip 1 and half double crochet in the next 2. Half double crochet in the next 2. Now I will chain 1 and do my half double crochet cluster here in this double crochet. Yarn over, pull through all 5, chain 1, and then now we're going to do our half double crochet cluster in this double crochet cluster here. Yarn over, pull through all 5, and chain 1. And this is your pattern repeat for round 30. So here we have what you're going to be doing on all sides. So we're going to repeat it again, starting with your corner. So that corner space, 2 double crochet cluster, chain 2, 2 double crochet cluster. your half double crochet clusters, half double crochet in 2, then do the chain 2 and slip stitch in the chain space until you have 12 slip stitches. Those 2 half double crochet and then your half double crochet third loop, 2 half double crochet, and then repeat on this side with those slip stitches till you have 12 slip stitches, and then repeat this side with the half double crochets and clusters. And this is your repeat, so starting with your corner space, repeat this all the way around here in round 30. So here I have finished round 30, and here in round 30 you should have 76 half double crochet, 16 half double crochet clusters, and 8 double crochet clusters here in round 30. So I went ahead and slip stitched to join, and we are going to be changing back to color C for round 31. So here is my slip stitch to join in the first double crochet cluster of the round. So I'm going to slip stitch to this chain 2 space because we're going to be starting in the corner, and from here on out we will always be slip stitching to the very corner to start each round for the remainder of the blanket. So I'm going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space, and here I'm going to rejoin my color C, and I'm going to continue to carry my yarn throughout. So I'm going to start with a chain 2. I'm going to do the same corner space as before, so I'm going to do the 2 double crochet cluster, chain 2, 2 double crochet cluster here in the corner. So there's 1 2 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and then another 2 double crochet cluster in this corner, chain 2 space. Now I'm going to chain 1, and in these next 3 chain 1 spaces I'm going to do the half double crochet clusters. So here in this chain 1 space I will do a half double crochet cluster. So yarn over, pull through all 5 and chain 1. And now another half double crochet cluster, chain 1 in the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, and then 1 more in this next chain 1 space here. And chain 1. So next I have these 2 half double crochets. I'm going to skip those 2 half double crochets and V-stitch in this chain 2 space here. So I'm going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in this chain 2 space. And I'm going to do that again in the next chain 2 space here after my slip stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in those first 2 chain 2 spaces. Now I will chain 2 and I will slip stitch in the next chain 2 space here. So now I'm going to repeat that 8 more times until I have 9 slip stitches. So chain 2, slip stitch in the chain 2 space. So you will have 9 slip stitches total, continuing until you get almost to those half double crochets. So I have 1 more, chain 2, slip stitch to the chain 2 space. So I have 9 slip stitches here, and I have 1 more chain 2 space before my half double crochets begin. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochet in this next chain 2 space. So no chains or anything, just go straight from the slip stitch to those 2 half double crochets. Now I'm going to half double crochet third loop in the next 15. So across all of these half double crochets, half double crochet third loop. There is all 15 of my half double crochet third loop. Now I am to the next chain 2 space where I will work 2 half double crochet in the next chain 2 space, and then now slip stitch to the next chain 2. And then again, we will chain 2, slip stitch in the next chain 2 until there are 9 slip stitches. So chain 2, slip stitch to the next chain 2 space. Chain 2, slip stitch the chain 2 space. So here I have 9 slip stitches across. So I'm to the last 2 chain 2 spaces before these half double crochets. So I'm going to do one more chain 2 and then V-stitch in this next chain 2 space. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Again, V-stitch in the next chain 2 space. So you have those 2 V-stitches. Now I'm going to chain 1, skip these 2 half double crochets and half double crochet cluster in this chain 1 space here. Chain 1, half double crochet cluster in the next chain 1 space. So you're going to do that for a total of 3 clusters. So chain 1, one more chain 1 space, we're going to do that half double crochet cluster, and then chain 1. And this is our pattern repeat here in round 31, starting with our corner space, the cluster, chain 2 cluster, the half double crochet clusters in the chain 1 spaces, then those V stitches in the first 2 chain 2s, repeating those slip stitches, chain 2 and slip stitch across till you have 9 slip stitches, and then our half double crochets here in the center. Again, repeating those slip stitches until you have 9, and then ending this side with again the 2 V stitches and then the 3 half double crochet clusters. So repeat that around for round 31. So here we have finished round 31. You should finish with 76 half double crochet, 24 half double crochet clusters, 8 double crochet clusters, and 16 V stitches. So you can just see these really pretty corner spaces we have gradually growing on each side, and then we have these half double crochet third loop sections, which we will also be continuing. So we have 2 more rounds here in part 4. So I went ahead and joined to a slip stitch, and we're going to be joining color B for round 32. So here I'm at my corner, and again I'm going to slip stitch to the chain 2 space and then I'm going to join color B when I do that. And then we're going to start with our chain 2. All right, so we have our chain 2. We're going to start with our corner space, which is the same thing, the 2 double crochet cluster, chain 2, 2 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet cluster in this chain 2 space. Now I'm going to chain 1 and half double crochet cluster in the next 5 chain 1 spaces. So chain 1, half double crochet cluster in this chain 1 space here, chain 1, half double crochet cluster in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, half double crochet cluster here in the next, chain 1, half double crochet cluster in the next, and then we're going to chain 1 and then half double crochet cluster in this chain 1 space in the V-stitch. So you should have 5 half double crochet clusters here along this side. And now I will chain 1 again, and I'm going to slip stitch to the next chain 1, which is in this V-stitch here. And I will chain 3. I'm going to skip this, chain 2, and slip stitch in the next here. And now we're working. So I'm going to again do those chain 2, slip stitch in the chain 2 space. I'm going to do that 6 times. So chain 2, slip stitch in the next chain 2 space. Do that 6 times. And then here is 6. So you should have one more chain 2 space before your half double crochets. So I'm going to 2 half double crochet in this chain 2 space here. And then half double crochet third loop in the next 19. Half double crochet third loop in each of these half double crochets. Okay, I have 2 more. So I did half double crochet third loop across all of those. Now I'm to the next chain 2 where I will 2 half double crochet. Oops, there we go. And then slip stitch to the next. Again, I'm going to do the chain 2, slip stitch to next chain 2 6 times. Chain 2, slip stitch to the next chain 2. And then here is 6. And then now I'm to those V stitches. So I'm going to chain 3 this time. I'm going to skip this chain 2 and slip stitch to the chain 1 in that V stitch there. Now I will chain 1 and I will half double crochet cluster in the next 5 chain 1 spaces, starting with the next V stitch. So cluster, chain 1, the next chain 1 space in between the V stitch and the cluster. Now in the next chain 1 space between those clusters, chain 1, cluster and chain 1, and I have one more space here, and chain 1. And this is your pattern repeat for round 32, starting with your corner space, those double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster, 5 half double crochet clusters, and then 6 of those chain 2, slip stitch in the next. Your half double crochet pattern here in the middle, and then repeat that other sequence on this other side with the chain 2 and slip stitches, and then your 5 half double crochet clusters. So repeat this all the way around for round 32. So here we have finished round 32. You should finish with 92 half double crochet, 8 of the double crochet clusters, and 40 of the half double crochet clusters. So we have one more round here in part 4. So I'm going to be changing back to color A in my corner space. So here is my join, and I'm going to be changing back to my color A. when I slip stitch to my corner. And I will start with a chain 2. We're going to change things a little bit and start with a half double crochet cluster for our corner spaces. So I'm going to do a half double crochet cluster in my corner space, chain 2, half double crochet cluster. So this will be my corner here in round 33. And now I'm going to chain 1 and do those half double crochet clusters in the next 5 chain 1 spaces. So here's my first chain 1 space. So half double crochet cluster, chain 1, next chain 1 space, chain 1, there's 3, here's 4, and here is 5. So that'll be the last space. So you'll have 5 half double crochet clusters, this last space between the 2 previous half double crochet clusters from the previous row. So we have now our chain 1. After that cluster, we're going to skip the cluster, skip this chain 1 space, and here in this chain 3, I'm going to work 7 double crochets in this chain 3 space here. Oops, so there's 1, and we're going to do 7. And here's 6 and 7. Now I will skip this chain 2 space here and slip stitch to the next chain 2 space. Now I'm going to do my chain 2, slip stitch to the chain 2 space 3 times. So chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2, slip stitch, doing it just 3 times. So here, so you should just have 4 slip stitches in this section. Here's the last chain 2 right before my half double crochets begin. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochet in this chain 2. And then half double crochet, third loop in each half double crochet across here. So you're going to be doing half double crochet, third loop in the next 23. So here's my last half double crochet across that section there. Now I'm going to go to the next chain 2 space where I will work 2 half double crochet in that chain 2 space. Now I'm going to slip stitch in the next, and then chain 2 and slip stitch in the next, and do that 3 times. And there's 3. Now I will skip the next chain 2 space, and here in this chain 3, I'm going to work 7 double crochet. And then here's 7. Now I will chain 1, and then starting here, so skip this chain 1 space, and in the next chain 1 space in between the clusters, do the half double crochet cluster. So we're going to do 5 half double crochet clusters in the next 5 chain 1 spaces. And then here is my last one, and chain 1. And that is your pattern repeat here for round 33. So remember, we're going to start back at our corner, The corner space is those half double crochet clusters, and then 5 half double crochet clusters in those chain 1 spaces, 7 double crochet in the chain 3, and then we're just going to have 4 of those slip stitches here, and then our half double crochet section. And again, the 4 slip stitches, skip this chain 2 space, 7 double crochet in the chain 3, and then end this side with those 5 half double crochet clusters in the chain 1 spaces. So repeat this around here in round 33. So here is the end of round 33. You should end with 108 half double crochet, 56 double crochet, and 48 half double crochet clusters. And this is it for us in part 4 for the Mandala Blanket Crochet Along. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and I will see you next week in part 5.